Part 3 of the how to save the high street store. One of the biggest business advices which many companies are given is to diversify. So, for example, I know there's so many coffee shops which are also art galleries. I was in a restaurant the other day in Northern Ireland, and while I was sitting there having my meal, the pictures on the walls all had little price tags on it. They'd obviously done something with a local photographer. And for example, I also know a girl in Edinburgh who has got a wedding dress shop, and she's got a basement which is doing nothing, so she's now renting it out as a studio for photographers to go use as a place to go shoot. So yeah, great use of the ability to diversify and use up the space that you've got. With a photography store, what I would argue is that so many stores just now do diversify. They do very, very well. For example, the Jessop's, which I know in Edinburgh, that was here, which is gone now, had a massive printing section to it. It also had a mini studio where they had a photographer coming in doing like little shots with like babies or partners or weddings or something like that. So they'd organised it with like an in-house professional photographer to do the photos. They also had the printing area, but they also had like a simple just instant prints where you could just put your memory card in and get prints out straight away. And then they had all the camera gear and all the camera peripheries. So they'd pretty much done everything that they could. The only thing which I think the Jessop's didn't do was sell any second-hand or any rental stuff. Calumet in Edinburgh, I know do those things. They have a store, a cabinet of second-hand gear, and they also do rental. The whole Calumet store company do rental where you can work between the different shops, which is a great facility. One thing I think which would be a fantastic idea is a business model which I've seen in a mountain bike store down in the Borders, where you can rent a fairly high-end mountain bike. There's a whole range of them, but generally there's about 30 mountain bikes which are roughly about £800 to buy new. But you can rent them out for £25 a day, and then you need to rent the helmet as well. And what they do is they rent them out 40 times. So 40 times 20. So yeah. Around about, they make the cost of the bike through the rental, and then once it's been rented out 30-40 times, they then sell the bike for half price. So as a customer, you can be going along going, brilliant, I'm getting an £800 bike for 400 quid. The shop's going, brilliant, we are getting through so many bikes and we're making the money from a rental. I think they were making more than the actual total cost of the bike, so they're making a little bit of profit there, but then they're also selling the bikes, and also it meant that their rental gear was brand new all the time. You were buying second hand, but the second hand had only been used a maximum of 30 or 40 times. That's effectively almost, because you'd be buying it for the day, so in just over a month, you could be buying a bike or a brand new bicycle, well, okay, in a 1 month old bicycle for half price. That's a pretty good deal. Now bring that into the camera store situation. I would be going into my local camera store every second day to find out, so how's your rental gear going? Have you rented out enough times? Oh, what's that, a Nikon D4S been rented out for a couple of weddings? It's now, what, £2,000 cheaper if somebody's wanting to buy this X-rental camera which has only been rented out for a month. Oh yes. So that, I think, is a great business model, and not only would that mean you're getting sales from the rental and from the selling of the second hand, and you're keeping turnover high, but you're also having pretty serious customers coming in kind of going, I want to buy. Oh, what, coming in more and more often hoping for a big discount, and yet maybe potentially buying other stuff, like maybe going and using the printing services, or maybe going and buying some batteries, or looking at flashes or something, or a filter for their lens. The other aspect of diversification which you can do for camera shops is because you've got a space, you can have your professionals coming in and doing lessons, tutorials, as part of maybe a customer service, because you can't necessarily sell some gear for cheaper. What you can do is offer other things to go with it. So for a very common thing is you either discount the price. If you can't do that, you'd offer extra things with it. So here's a camera and here's a camera bag that goes with it. Camera shops, because they've got a potential professional in shop, they can go, here's a camera and here's a voucher for a lesson if you want to have a one-on-one lesson, or here's a voucher for a group lesson which is happening this Thursday. Brilliant. You've got a customer kind of walking away going, cool, added value, and then going, oh, added value where I have to come back into the store. So not only are they leaving with a greater sense of satisfaction, also developing relationship with the shop and the members of the staff which are in there, which are professionals, but also potentially coming back and buying more services or using the services of the store more often. If the shop has got enough space, then I would say open it up for a studio. Use a studio ability there. If you're selling lighting gear, have it there to be used for people to try out. But also, let's say you are a person that buys stuff from the place. You don't want to do, or you're not interested in lessons. Let's say here's a voucher. You can either have a lesson or you can come in and use the studio space for free for an hour and a half. Brilliant. So then not only are you having the photographer coming back and using the studio space, but he's potentially, or he or she is potentially bringing in their customers. So they may be coming in to do a commercial shoot or a wedding shoot or an engagement shoot or something, or just taking pictures of their friend. If they bring them in, they get to use the studio space. All of a sudden the photographer and let's say the couple that he's brought in are all in the store and potentially looking at camera gear and just knowing about the place where it is. That's enhancing brand awareness and brand perception by giving the photographer added value in both the stuff that they receive, but the fact that they can do extra work. If the place has another space where maybe you can't have a studio, but you can have something like a TV on a wall, you can say, look, if you want to use a space where you come along and entertain your clients in some sort of way, for like so many coffee shops, people will have business meetings in a coffee shop. Why can't you have a photography business meeting inside a camera store? Where you go in, maybe they block it off a little area, big TV on the wall, photographer can come along with his memory card and show a couple their wedding album, a wedding album viewing inside a camera store. You can offer that service to them. Let's say it's £15 for them to use it for an hour. Barely anyone would need a whole hour, but then they're bringing in their customers, and also then they can say, oh, you like these photos? Cool, I can get them printed in the store right away, right now. That's all depending on what services you've got in the store. Obviously, if you've got space, if you've got printing and all that kind of stuff. But I think that'd be a fantastic service for professionals to go in and bring in their clients, and also be able to give a further service of getting prints straight away would be fantastic. Another way to get more groups of people is working with schools, universities, Facebook groups, Flickr groups, Google Plus groups. Find all your local area networking sites and advertise doing photo walks starting from your photography shop. Granted, some shops maybe in the middle of nowhere, it might not be any good, but if you're a high street shop, especially in Edinburgh, you've got this fantastic opportunity of saying, okay, hello Edinburgh University Photography Club, if you want to do a photo walk, we are willing to have our store open on Thursday night late until 7 o'clock, where everyone can meet up at the store, and then you can all go for your walk and something, and then come back and we can serve you all cookies and coffee at the end. Brilliant way of getting a whole pile of people into the shop. Potentially the walk can be done by one of the members of staff. You can also offer that as a freebie to like people who've just bought point and shoots. Here's a ticket for every Thursday night we do a photo walk around Edinburgh, and you enhance the relationship with the whole team of people at the university with the shop selling all the camera gear. So again, so many opportunities for enhancing and bringing back customers repeatedly to potentially have them buying the smaller items which have a higher markup value and are greater value to the actual shop itself.